Well, I mean, based on the data that we have right now, it looks like it's a little bit overdone. But what I would say is a couple of things actually stood out. I think the DAU number was actually pretty good. But what stood out was actually slight deceleration in the monetization of those users. So we're talking about the ARPUs. And that actually does indicate the impact of some of the Apple changes. So basically, what we can assume is that the ad prices have gone down, specifically on this platform. Now, in terms of how it may actually impact, for example, Google's YouTube and or Facebook, what I would say is that those companies have a much, much larger user base, which at the end of the day continues to attract more advertisers and more ad dollars. So I don't think the impact on those firms would be as significant as it may be here on Snap.
We're obviously all, Ali, keying off only a couple of bullet points and comments as it regards to the new iOS changes from Apple. If they comment on the conference call that this is probably going to be something that's temporary whilst everyone in the industry is adjusting to it, would that abate some of your fears as to how long and lasting and severe the ARPU impact will be, or is it sort of understandable that people are reacting negatively to an ARPU miss?
Wilfred, I agree with you. I think that if they do comment that they are actually seeking or going down certain paths to address this issue in the short to medium term, I think the market will actually like that type of response. What I would say is that actually recently they have made some moves that indicates that they're moving more towards providing additional opportunities for the advertisers. So as you guys know, Arcadia, basically the ad studio that they've begun to create, that probably will give the advertisers more flexibility to basically be creative and create better messages, augmented reality-based messages and so forth, and possibly get the attention of the younger users. So they are taking steps towards addressing what Apple has done recently.
In the opening quote, they do blame the iOS changes. They also blame supply chain issues and labor shortages of our partners. Is that a reference to Apple or advertisers or what?
Yeah, that's tough to tell right now. I would wait for the call to get a better idea about what they mean. But it could be that the supply chain issues may be impacting some of the advertisers, and for the time being, in the short term, of course, that's what we're assuming. In the short term, the advertisers may be just putting aside some of the ad dollars and waiting for the supply chain issues to improve.
So if we got Snap down 25%, Facebook last look I think was down about 8%. We'll put it up on the screen any second now. Is that an overreaction from Facebook?
I would say yes. I would say that's an overreaction for Facebook. Again, Facebook with nearly 3 billion users out there, and with Instagram that does actually target and does attract younger users. I think the advertisers would still prioritize purchasing ads on the Facebook platform rather than some of the smaller players such as Snap.
You're on hold at $74 for Snap. Are you going to bring down that target price to match what's happening?
Well, that's a good question, but it really depends on what we hear during the call and how these new numbers are going to impact our projections. So we'll see.